India is looking to join the Malacca Straits Patrol, a multilateral maritime security initiative that has operated for 2 decades without its presence. Singapore's formal support for India's inclusion marks a shift in the region's security architecture around one of the world's most critical choke points, the Malacca Strait. Established in 2004 by Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, and later Thailand, the MSP was designed to counter piracy, smuggling, and maritime terrorism in the strait. It functions through coordinated sea patrols, aerial surveillance under the Eyes in the Sky program, and a real-time intelligence exchange network. Each member patrols its own territorial waters but shares threat data and coordinates responses. India's entry brings long-range surveillance, naval depth, and operational experience into this framework. The Malacca Strait itself is narrow, just 2.7 kilometers wide at its tightest point, but it carries immense strategic weight. Over 100,000 vessels pass through annually, transporting nearly half of global trade by tonnage and more than 70% of Asia's oil imports. For China, it's a vital artery. Over 80% of its energy imports flow through this corridor. For India, it's the primary route for LNG imports and a key channel for outbound trade. Control over this choke point offers leverage in both peace and conflict. In any crisis scenario, the ability to monitor, restrict, or secure this corridor could tilt the balance of power. India's control posture in the region is anchored by the Andaman and Nicobar Command, the country's only tri-service command, located roughly 600 kilometers from the strait. From this forward base, the Indian Navy deploys a mix of warships and surveillance platforms that operate across the eastern Indian Ocean. These include the INS Saryu, an offshore patrol vessel frequently seen in coordinated patrols with Indonesia; Shivalik-class stealth frigates capable of anti-submarine, anti-air, and surface warfare; and Kamorta-class corvettes designed specifically for anti-submarine operations in shallow waters. Supporting these surface assets are P-8I Poseidon aircraft, which provide long-range maritime surveillance and anti-submarine coverage, maintaining persistent watch over the strait and surrounding waters. These deployments are part of India's mission-based operations, which ensure a rotating naval presence across the Bay of Bengal, Malacca Strait, and Andaman Sea. These assets aren't just patrolling, they are building a layered maritime picture, tracking vessel movements and responding to emerging threats. With MSP Axis, India plugs directly into the intelligence sharing grid used by the other member states. This enhances situational awareness and enables coordinated responses to piracy, trafficking, or hostile naval activity. It also strengthens India's ability to shape maritime norms and influence threat response mechanisms in real time. Strategically, this move addresses China's long-standing vulnerability known as the Malacca Dilemma, the risk of energy supply disruption if the strait is blocked during conflict. India's presence adds pressure and complicates Chinese naval planning. It also signals to Southeast Asian nations that India is prepared to share responsibility for regional stability. India's naval doctrine emphasizes sea control, forward deployment, and networked intelligence. MSP integration aligns with these principles and expands India's operational footprint. Operationally, India brings layered capabilities, satellite tracking, underwater domain awareness, and blue water naval assets that complement MSP's existing structure and raise its deterrence value. Intelligence sharing will become faster, more precise, and more predictive. Joint exercises will likely expand in scope, covering not just piracy but hybrid threats, cyber intrusions, and grey zone tactics. India's inclusion also shifts the psychological balance. It's no longer a distant observer, it's a participant with stakes and leverage. For adversaries, this complicates planning. For allies, it strengthens the collective security net. The strait is not just a shipping lane, it's a pressure point, and India is now positioned to press back. This development fits into India's broader Indo-Pacific strategy, which prioritizes connectivity, security, and rule-based order. It also complements India's Act East policy, which seeks deeper engagement with ASEAN nations. MSP offers a platform to operationalize these policies with tangible outcomes. As integration progresses, expect formal protocols, expanded patrol zones, and tighter intelligence loops. India's naval assets will likely participate in coordinated missions, and its surveillance data will feed into MSP's shared systems. The result is a more resilient, responsive, and strategically balanced patrol network.